In today's episode, I talk about my insecurities and the things that terrify me.
This is how legends are made.
Thanks for joining me in today's episode, and I wanted to share with you something that you don't know, just about something that I experience every single time I go in to talk to a school. And it's that every time I go in, or the day before, I'm actually quite scared, quite terrified of what could happen in a session. Now, this could be a talk to an assembly or to a larger workshop with kids, but every single time I just have this sense of dread and fear over it, despite the amount of times I've done it now. And it's interesting because going into other environments, one-to-one coaching, if it's kind of personal or if it's more kind of corporate, leadership coaching that I do, none of those fears are there. Don't have the same apprehension at all. And it's fascinating because you may imagine that going into the city and meeting with some very high-powered executives, some with six-figure lifestyles, that this will be more intimidating. But for me, it's not. I find that very natural. I can communicate very easily that way, and I have no apprehension for it. I mean, there's a degree of uncertainty, but it's super mild. But when it comes to talking to schools, when you're given a 15-minute window to really transform a group of children in some way, or at least a handful of them, it's still daunting. And sometimes 15 minutes can be challenging because you're condensing so many things that you think will be relevant and try and connect with some of the students there, that you really try and force as much through, and you really hope that what you're saying kind of comes across. Workshops are a little bit different, but in some way that you get more feedback, you can do more activities and games, and you can get more involved, and you can read the room. In assemblies, 250 children are staring at you, and you can't read every single one of them. You're not sure how this is all landing, so you just kind of give out as much as you can and hope that some of it's going to hit. But saying all that, there is just a terror. Maybe this is normal, maybe it's natural. It's something you probably aren't aware of, but I thought I'd share it out of interest to you to realize that despite doing as many of these as I've done, there's always an uncertainty. And I think the uncertainty, if it's useful, I think it's just that there is so much uncertainty that I have no idea of the kind of the reception that's going to come through from the students. I mean, in some ways with the executive coaching, they've signed up for it. There's active engagement. There's a hands up saying, yes, me, please. The students are being kind of like ushered into a space to be talked to, really. There isn't a lot of interaction for like a 5 to 10 or 15 minute assembly. And there's bits, but really it's not huge amounts. So you have to go in there and just throw as much as you can, which you think is going to create an impact, and hope it comes back. And it's that level of uncertainty, it's that 100% uncertainty of how it's going to get received compared to the lower uncertainty when it comes to other coaching, where coachees are wanting to have sessions. So it's a different dynamic, and as a coach you rely on feedback, you rely on body language, the words, the intonation, the movement, anything that you help to interpret how a person's responding and bring it to their attention and utilize that. But when you don't have any of that, when you have simply just silence and you don't know how it's going to go, that can be daunting and that can be scary. I mean, and bearing in mind, including the fact that I have a plan, I know what I want to say and get across, but not knowing how it's going to get received or what comes from it is always daunting. I don't think it ever will fail to be. I don't mind particularly. I think it's important to have a degree of apprehension and uncertainty, but certainly for working in schools, that level is even higher. And I suppose the only thing to add on to that is that it's slightly different, because working with an adult, we can ask questions back and forth, we can establish situations as a little cleaner or more direct. Children's different matter entirely. they don't respond well to direct questions constantly being asked. It's more about creating a rapport and building trust over time. So I have this small window to try and do it in, and I think that's probably the difference, is where you get less feedback, or different a variety of feedback from students than you do from adults. But mainly the point was to share with you that actually it can be terrifying to go into a school and have a give a talk where you have no idea how it's going to go. And it's important that I can recognize when I'm confident and optimistic, and there's times when I can be scared or worried or unsure of how things are going to go, yet optimistic, and still deliver what I can. And I hope that's kind of interesting to you at least, or maybe makes you braver in other parts of your own life where you're finding situations are challenging or scary in some form. So that's something I want to share with you. I hope you get some value from it. Maybe you're a bit braver on things you're facing. But other than that, I hope you're doing super well wherever you are, and I'll catch you next time. And don't forget, you can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. I'd love to get your comments and thoughts, particularly about today's episode if you liked it. If you've got any questions, let me know about those as well, and I'll do my best to answer every single one of them.
This is how legends are made.